you will hear from Mrs. Olive Downer Walsh, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Hardware and Lumber. She'll be followed by Mr. Regina Valera, Commercial Lead of the Bayer Crop Science Vegetable Seeds Division. We'll also have greetings from Mrs. Marina Young of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority. She'll be followed by a representative of the Jamaica Agricultural Society bringing us greetings. Then, you will hear from Ms. Odine Bradshaw, who will tell us about the features and awesome benefits of these two hybrid seeds that are being launched today. Then, Mr. Richard Grant and Mr. Andre Gordon will speak to you about the production guide and crop care for these seeds. I will now invite Mrs. Olive Downer Walsh to bring her greetings on behalf of the Hardware and Lumber Group. Mrs. Walsh, welcome.
Mr. Regina Valera, Central America and Caribbean Commercial Lead for Vegetable Seeds in Bayer Crop Science. Mrs. Marina Young, CEO of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority. Mr. Christopher Emmanuel, CEO of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, farmers, agro-processors, and other industry stakeholders. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen all, good day. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the H&L family to extend a special welcome to you all. Thanks for taking the time from your busy schedule to join us for this special event. As the market leader, H&L Agro's sales and distribution of quality agro inputs ranging from hybrid seeds, pesticides, tools and equipment, personal protective equipment, fertilizers, and other supplies remain unchallenged. Our established reputation for provision of quality innovative solutions, as well as tech support and general product stewardship, continues through our extensive sales network via H&L Agro Retail and H&L Agro Wholesale through our resellers network, along with our other industry partners. This being a reality of how we have been serving you, our valued clients, for over 93 years. In continuation of the proud H&L Agro tradition of market leader through alignment with reputable partners, inclusive of Bayer Crop Science, supplier of the Seminis brands of vegetable seeds, today we launched two outstanding varieties, EX4098 carrot and Bristol cucumber. I take this opportunity to express our gratitude to everyone who made this occasion a reality. Our supplier, Bayer Crop Science, and the evaluation team here in Jamaica, which included representatives of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, the National Irrigation Commission, both at the Hounslow and Braco facilities, along with lead growers. We thank you all. At H&L, we are respectful of the many partnerships we have established in over 93 years in business. One in which we have been of service to the construction, home improvement, and agricultural sectors, contributing undisputedly to nation building. Through our H&L Agro Business Unit, we have forged many business partnerships with resilient farmers across the island and other stakeholders. We look forward to your support as we continue on the path and set the stage for another 93 years. We thank you for your support. Let's continue on a path to making Jamaica food security and safety be at its optimum. Please, through it all, remain safe and blessed. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks, Mrs. Walsh. Now in Regina Valera, who is with us today all the way from the Dominican Republic to bring us the greetings on behalf of Bayer Crop Sciences Vegetable Seeds Division. Regina, welcome.
Dear Executive Directors, team members, and growers, thanks for the opportunity to be with you in this event, this Semenes Varieties launch. This is the result of the hard work and time dedicated by H&L to select the most promising varieties for Jamaica. This is more remarkable given the actual circumstances, but demonstrates that both Semenes and H&L are unstoppable in their commitment to bring the most promising varieties for your growing conditions. In Semenes, now as part of Bayer, we have reinforced that commitment with company's vision, healthful, hunger for none, and have confirmed that in H&L we have the most strategic and reliable partner to keep delivering on this promise. Carrot EX4098 and cucumber Bristol are top-selling varieties in other parts of the world and now are available for Jamaica. Congratulations. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I wish to take this opportunity to acknowledge the management of Hardman Lumber, their staff, farmers, stakeholders, and all participants of today's launch of 2 new varieties. It gives me a great pleasure to extend you the greetings on behalf of the Rural Agriculture Development Authority and to say how timely and important is the launch of the new carrot and cucumber seed varieties for the local agriculture sector. When we're talking about the new and improved varieties, we should consider a number of factors. The one is the nutrient aspect of the crop. The other one is the fact that resistant or tolerant varieties are an important component of integrated pest management systems. And we know that IPM, or Integrated Pest Management System, is a strategy to prevent and to suppress pests with minimum impact on the human health and the environment. Another factor to consider is that improved characteristics of varieties contributes to reduction of the food waste. All improved varieties help farmers be more resilient to the impacts of climate change, and I should especially mention tolerance to the high temperatures and droughts, and Jamaica is exposed to those factors, so we do need new varieties. Improved crop varieties that have been developed through research and testing have special qualities such as fast maturation rate, higher yields, and pest and diseases tolerances. And using improved varieties can increase production yields, reduce input costs, and better withstand the effect of the climate change. Climate change, new varieties. You ask how improved varieties are helpful for climate change mitigation. Well, research demonstrates that use of improved varieties can increase soil carbon or residues that can be managed to store carbon in the soil for a long period of time. Also, by reducing reliance on the fertilizers, for example, use of improved varieties can reduce greenhouse gases. It was determined through research that the greenhouse gases emission potential of improved crop varieties is actually ranging between 0.51 to 1.45 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per hectare per year. So today we are launching 2 improved varieties. So this particular parameter actually multiplies by 2. We should not forget importance of crops, including cucumbers and carrots. as the source of nutrition. They do play a role in maintaining good health and wellness. The findings of the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations study, published in 2017, show that 24 countries in Latin America and Caribbean record a proportion of obese people in values close to or above 20%. From the same study, it shows that today 30% of people in Latin America and Caribbean are affected by malnutrition, and by 2035, malnutrition could affect 50% of population in this region. When we're talking about undernourishment, same study concluded that approximately 5.5% of population in Latin America and Caribbean region, which is approximately 34 million people, are actually undernourished. One of the major concerns is the statistics for the children under 5 years old. The study also pointed that approximately 7.2% of the children in that category are obese or overweight. We should be very carefully watching these figures because this is our future generation and we would like to have them healthy and strong. When we're talking about adult overweight in the region of Latin America and Caribbean, it's approximately 360 million people, or 58% of population, are considered overweight. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization claims that globally, roughly 1/3 of edible part of food produced for human consumption gets lost or wasted. It is also well documented that there are a lot of food wasted in developing countries, and it is mostly due to pests and diseases and loss at the post-harvest and processing levels. So, when farmers have access to improved varieties, the level of waste is reduced. Talking about carrots and nutrition, as we know, carrots are packed with micronutrients, especially the precursor of vitamin A. So just a half a carrot a day is enough to meet an individual needs for vitamin A. It's so simple, just half a carrot a day. But at the same time, there are some shocking statistics from the World Health Organization, which estimates that 250 million preschool children in the world are deficient in vitamin A, all of which completely preventable. Remember, half a carrot a day. Let's mention about nutritive value of cucumber. While cucumber has 95% water content, it is certainly not a pipe water. Cucumber is a source of vitamin C, vitamin K, magnesium, potassium, and manganese, which are so important for our health. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are not just launching 2 new varieties. We are launching added benefits for farmers' livelihood, better nutrition, safer food for consumers, and just one more tool for more resilient farming. In concluding, I'm wishing to our farmers every success in taking advantages of new seed varieties, and to everyone to have a very productive and informative session ahead. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks, Mrs. Young, to you and the RADA team on behalf of all of us here at Hardware and Lumber. I will now invite the representative from the Jamaica Agricultural Society to bring their greetings.
It is my pleasure to, on behalf of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, in bringing greetings on this important occasion as we renew the long-standing and vital relationship between agriculture producers and the H&L Agro, a relationship going back for more than 90 years, and which has seen H&L definitely establishing itself as one of Jamaica's leading provider of agriculture inputs and related products. While our history at the JS is only slightly longer, we are mutually committed to recognizing, supporting, and lauding the work of our farmers for the greater good of the nation. This vital launch of new hybrid seeds, accompanied by training, is yet another demonstration of the kind of mindset and action that is needed for the sector, and which we at the JS wholeheartedly support. High-quality offerings from H&L Agro will significantly boost production of carrots and of Bristol cucumbers by reducing time to maturity as well as the number of harvest passes, but without sacrificing shape, color, or overall quality of the crop. The hybrid seed also display greater resistance to pests and diseases, as well as greater adaptability. All of which mean not just better yield, but less time committed to establishing the crop. I commend this launch and the training to all our members, and again salute H&L Agro for its ongoing commitment to a better life for our farmers and their families through improved yields and better produce to the consuming public. Long may this bond continue. God bless you all.
To tell us some more about the features of these two awesome seeds being launched today, I now invite Ms. Odine Bradshaw, Market and Business Development Manager of H&L Agro, to tell us more. Welcome, Odine.
Thanks, Michelle. H&L Agro has been a long-standing stakeholder of the government strategy for the substitution of food imports. And to continue and strengthen this relationship, we partner with our main supplier of hybrid vegetable seeds to assess a few varieties of carrots and cucumber for the selection of improved materials suitable to our climatic conditions for commercial introduction and expansion of our offerings here in Jamaica. The parameters used were guided by the principles of agricultural practices and food safety considerations. A special data collection tool was developed which captured the following information: variety adaptation, productivity in terms of the marketable yield, uniformity, palatability, and shelf life. Of course, we looked at the maturation period along with the disease tolerance and susceptibility. The evaluation team comprises of H&L Technical Team, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, Extension Officers, along with our Seminist representative, Mr. Valera. Let us now take a look at the EX4098 carrot. It's an excellent variety. Of course, it has good adaptability. It adapts well to the Jamaican condition and our soil type here. It can be grown at high altitude and also in warm climatic conditions, so it can be grown throughout the summer period. It provides vigorous plants with excellent foliage, good adaptation to mechanical harvesting because of the uniformity of the tubers. Also, it's of orange in color with strong internal and external color. It matures within 90 to 110 days. It has high yield in terms of the pounds per acre, and for this we get 12 to 15 tons per acre and 37 tons per hectare. The average diameter is 2 to 3 inches, and also the length goes up to 9 inches, and with good operation we have seen the variety going as much as 12 inches in length. It has a good disease and pest resistant package. It is tolerant to Alternaria and also to nematodes. And we know that nematodes are of concern to our Jamaican farmers. And our next selection of a variety to plant in terms of for carrot production, please select the EX4098 carrot seed. Again, it comes in a small package. However, it has over 50,000 seeds inside here. Also, it matures within 90 to 10 days to 110 days and can be grown at high altitude and adapts well also to warm ecosystems. Let us now take a look at the next variety that we're launching here today. We're launching the Bristol cucumber variety. The Bristol cucumber is a slicer, right? It's one of the gynoecious hybrid slicing cucumber variety. And by virtue of this, it means that it produces only female flower. This is important because most cucurbits have male and female flowers, but the female flower is the one that produces or turns into a cucumber. So having a high amount of female flowers available means that you will have a higher chance of better yield in terms of your cucumber production. The length is 8.3 inches. Also, it produces high yield of straight dark green slicing cucumbers. It's an early maturing variety, 55 days. Great fruit quality in terms of the shape and color. Produces perfectly shaped fruits with great quality and color. It has high balance between the vegetative and generative growth. High resistant to cucumber mosaic virus, the zucchini yellow mosaic virus, angular leaf spot, and also the anthracnose race 1 along with scab. The intermediate resistance of this variety, the Bristol cucumber, is that it has intermediate resistance to the papaw ring spot virus along with downy mildew and powdery mildew. And we do know that downy mildew and powdery mildew is of concern to most cucumber producers. It achieves high yield potential for fewer harvest pass, with fewer harvest pass. Early maturity, second generation cucumber hybrid, and of course it has a high percentage of super select in early harvest. Suitable for growing in tropical conditions, and it's the leading variety over in Central America. Farmers, and your next selection of cucumbers to plant, please try our Bristol cucumber. It's a slicing cucumber, as I stated earlier. It matures within 50 to 55 days. It's dark green in color with little spines. Again, it's adaptable into warm ecoclimates, and it's also strong in terms of the vegetative and generative growth. Thank you.
So we have heard about the features of the seeds. So we now know how to produce them. So we now invite Mr. Richard Grant and Mr. Andre Gordon to tell us about the production and the crop care of these hybrid seeds. Richard and Andre, over to you.
Thank you, Michelle. Now, we'll be looking at our carrot crop care guide. But before going in depth into carrot production, it's always great for us to give an overview of carrots. Now, the botanical name for carrot is Daucus carota. And did you know that carrot is actually origin, its land of origin is actually Europe?
Yes.
Right, good. Now, as it relates to our H&L portfolio, we do have 3 prime varieties that we offer to our clients locally. Those varieties are our Carandai, which is of course is of our Seminis brand, our Golden Prince, which is of our Taki brand, and our EX4098, which is the new kid on the block, is from our Seminis brand as well. Now, let's look at some quick facts as it relates to carrot, because carrot is highly nutritional, right? And majority of Jamaicans know this, and we do love to have carrot as a part of our meal, whether it want to be carrot juice or a brown stew, right? Good enough. But do we really know the nutritional benefits of carrots per se? And for that, I want to just highlight this. Now, the carrot is a root vegetable, right? And it often claimed to have is a perfect health food. It is crunchy, tasty, and highly nutritious. Carrots are a particular good source of beta carotene, fiber, which is good for bowel movement, vitamin K, potassium, and of course, it has antioxidant properties as well, which makes it a superfood. Now, carrots are is what we refer to as weight loss friendly, and as such, in the dietary plan of persons who's interested in losing weight, carrot would be a part of their diet as well. Now, it is also linked to lowering cholesterol, and it also improves eyesight, and that is something that we have learned from primary school days, that carrot is good for the eye. Now, carrot contains beta-carotene I highlighted earlier, and beta-carotene is a known antioxidant, and it has been linked to reducing the risk of cancer. And you know that the incidence of cancer has grown in the population over the last few years. So imagine including carrot in your diet as a preventative, so to speak, right? So it will lessen the risk or the chances of the developing such. Now, carrots are found in many colors. Many people know that carrot also comes as in a white color. Did you know that?
No.
Carrot, right? That is exactly. You also have carrot being yellow, red, purple. But often the color that more persons are familiar with is the orange color.
Yes.
Very good. Now, carrot, orange color is as a result of its beta-carotene content, right? And as I said earlier, beta-carotene is an antioxidant, and it's very good, and it also helps in improving eyesight. Andre?
Yes, Mr. Grant. And we want to highlight the different varieties. And as you said, Mr. Grant, the current dye, or main supply, comes from Seminis.
Yes.
Now, current dye, one of the main character features of this carrot is that it's an early maturing crop.
Yes.
Matures within a period of 90 days.
90 days, yeah.
It has a high yielding potential. So persons who plant this variety will expect to achieve a high yield. It has long roots. So, and persons within the local market like these carrots. It's resistant to Alternaria. Now, the farmers who are seasoned carrot farmers will like this variety because it gives them the protection that they need. Also, give them the production that they need.
And that is two critical points. The yield is important, and the main and the fact that it also gives them protection, because it's a variety that gives very good resistance to two of the main diseases that affects carrot. What are those again?
The Alternaria and the powder mildew.
And the powdery mildew. So true, yes.
And persons can expect the production from this within 10 tons per acre.
10 tons per acre.
And that is excellent.
Wow, that is definitely
so
excellent.
This variety is an excellent variety that is adapted to the local market, and persons continue to plant this.
Yes.
Now, we have the Golden Prince,
yes,
which comes from Taki,
yes,
one of our main suppliers. And this is also an early maturing carrot. It comes mature within 210 days. It is excellent. So persons who plant carrot on a regular basis will look forward for this to come into production at a shorter period and an earlier period. Now, it's vigorous with a deep red color.
Yes.
Persons like this, based on the characteristic feature of this. It also is also resistant to the disease Alternaria.
Yes.
And it gives you a high production of 8 tons to the acre.
8 tons to the acre.
That is very excellent.
Excellent.
Now, it has a length of 6 inches.
6 inches.
So persons within the local market like that for the housewife is excellent for the housewife.
Okay.
Good. With a diameter of 1.5 inch.
Yes.
Now, this variety is excellent is adapted for the local market, and persons continue to plant this to different parishes that are major carrot production area.
That is so true, and I agree with you 100%. The golden prince, because of its deep red color, it's aesthetically pleasing to many persons. And as I highlighted early on, it is ideal for household use for persons who's more inclined to buy smaller carrot varieties. The golden prince is ideal for that market.
Yes.
Right? Good.
Now, you mentioned the EX4098.
The new kid on the block.
New kid on the block from Seminis.
Yes.
Now, this is an excellent variety. It is doing excellent on the local market. Persons have adopted to this, and persons that are seen where the production level, it is tremendous.
Yes.
And the production level is 12 to 15 tons per acre.
Whoa.
Now, that is showing great production.
Yes.
Now, it's also an early maturing crop. It matures within 90 to 110 days. Now, this has where the person have seen now production and the high yield, persons are adapting to this. Now, this also variety is a hybrid adapted to various soil types. So persons within the different soil region, within the region, different soil types, persons can feel free to plant this variety. It is adapted to warm ecosystem. So persons within the hotter zone or the hotter climates can also feel free and feel comfortable in planting this, and would expect to get their production, the high yielding production from this variety. Now, it has been grown in the different areas, and persons have seen and persons are testifying to the production of this variety.
I myself has experienced that, because even areas of high altitude where it tends to be a bit more cooler, so there's a greater amount of precipitation. I've seen where EX4098 does exceptionally well, and as you rightly point out, the yield is phenomenal as it relates to carrot production locally. What you're getting out of EX4098 is what I would have referred to, would have meet or surpass industry standards in terms of yield and production. The beauty of that, again, what you have highlighted is its high adaptability, and of course you had made reference to its disease resistance, which is great, because in cooler climates you would expect to have a bit more fungal attack, but
yes.
However, with your EX4098, the resistance is so great that you have little to no disease infestation, foliage disease that
and Mr. Grant, yes, is also equally important to highlight that it competes well with weeds.
That is so true. That is so true. It does compete exceptionally well with weeds.
So EX4098 is an excellent variety, and persons have adapted to this. And now we are going to see this taking off onto the local market in a wider scale, Mr. Grant.
Great. Now, Mr. Garden has highlighted our 3 varieties, and those 3 varieties are Carandai from our Seminis portfolio, which gives you 10 ton per acre. Our Golden Prince variety, that is from our Taki brand, right? Our Taki line, that gives you 8 tons. And now our EX4098, which is also from our Seminis line, and that gives you
12 to 15 tons
per acre. Those are exceptionally good varieties. Okay, so let's look at our planting schedule, right? Because I know our viewers would have been wanting to know a bit more about carrot production, right? How it is basically done. Now, keep in mind that carrots are a tropical vegetable that can be cultivated year-round. However, there are conditions under which it thrives best. Good enough? Now, carrot grow best in cool to intermediate temperatures, early spring to late fall. Keep in mind that we are in the tropical zone. So as it relates to our climatic fluctuation or seasonal changes, it's not that great where it will severely impact production. So carrots can be grown year-round under local climatic conditions. Now, conditions having high temperatures tend to cause poorly colored, low-quality carrots. Right? Carrot can thrive in areas of open fields and also in small garden spaces, given that it is exposed to full sun, which is a critical component of growing carrots. You do need that full sunlight exposure to sunlight. Ideally, we recommend that you provide at least an inch of water every week to maintain soil moisture, especially at the sowing for proper germination, right? Because carrot tend to have very hard tester, and without adequate moisture exposure to moisture, it can affect germination or delay germination. So you want that adequate moisture within the environment to facilitate germination. Now, water the plants in the morning and avoid overwatering, because wet foliage can trigger disease, because moisture creates a perfect environmental condition for the proliferation of microbes. Now, carrot needs loose, well-drained soil with a pH about 6 to 6.8. Remember, it's a root crop, and as such, when you have that loose, friable soil, it really facilitates good root penetration, right? And that is where you have larger root developing. So there's less restriction in terms of expansion and growth of a carrot root. Now, you can incorporate some amount of compost in your soil, and that is to improve the overall condition of the soil, because your compost act as a soil amendment, right? Good enough for you to achieve that pH, but also to create the right or the correct soil conditions to facilitate optimal growth and production of course. Compost promotes nutrients, because it's also a source of nutrients, and as I said earlier, it does improve your soil condition overall. What about land prep?
It is very critical.
Yes.
Now, farmers engaging in carrot production need to have a good land preparation before sowing these seeds.
That's true.
Now, land should be cleared of all vegetation. Soil should be well drained. Roots that stands in water cause the heads to rot. So if you have waterlogged soil, this will cause the heads of the carrot to start to decay. Okay. Create loose, friable soil for good root penetration. You mentioned that before. Right. So you need that soil that is very finely tilt, so it can penetrate the soil and the root can grow freely and also absorb nutrients and absorb water freely. Good. We should plow at a depth at 12 inches and on flat beds or raised bed before is preferable. So you can put it on flat beds or raised bed. So whatever farmer prefers, you can sow it on this. And this will be ideal condition for your production.
Okay, great. You had highlighted some great points. So what, one, that carrot, it can rot if a waterlogged condition is actually created. Yes. Good. So it is important then for farmers to ensure that they establish surface runoff or excess water, so to speak. Also add in areas that is known to become inundated, right? Where you have flat land generally in a valley, or where you have a depression depending on landscape, right? Yes. That it is ideally that persons establish your raised beds to actually establish your carrots right? And areas where you don't have that incident or history of flooding or the land becoming inundated, then that would be a bit more ideal for your flatbed
Very much so.
preparation. Great.
Now, when planting carrots, persons can use the broadcasted method, or persons can use mechanical or manual means of establishing your carrot onto your soil surface. We also encourage Mr. Grant persons to mix your carrot with a bit of sand at a ratio of 1 to 3. This would facilitate easier and better distribution of your carrot seeds.
That is so true.
And also, this will give you now the greater ability for coverage over the area. Now, your germination for your carrots, person would want to know this, would occur between 14 to 21 days after planting. And we also want to hasten to say that persons should also try to apply your water to facilitate your germination. If you're not depending on the rainfall, we encourage persons to use your drip irrigation or your overhead irrigation to wet the soil for the plant, so the seeds can pick up this moisture for easier germination.
Right.
Where you might find, Mr. Grant, that the plant might be established too thick, persons can go into thinning. And thinning is basically removing excess plants, just to give that the plant the root room.
Right.
Good.
Right.
And also to reduce the heavy foliage, and where you might introduce other fungal disease into your crops. You can remove by thinning. Persons can reestablish these in other parts of the area, or person can discard them.
And I totally agree with you, because you know, when you distribute carrots over the land, right, to sow them, and it is distributed in a way where it's too thick, the carrot, the population density becomes extremely high, and that in and itself will create somewhat of a microclimate, right, that will trap some amount of humidity, and also where disease is of concern. Now you have higher rates of disease development, and also transfer, right, from disease plants to disease plants. So what you need is proper spacing. And as you rightly highlighted earlier on, this is why it is important for persons to properly distribute the carrot seeds over their plot of land at sowing. And you highlighted that they should use 1 part carrot to 3 parts sand, because the sand helps to
even distribution.
For even distribution. Because I mean, many farmers tend not to want to thin out their carrot, because they're saying, look here, every carrot that I actually remove from it is a carrot that I'm actually losing, because carrot, you don't transplant carrot, right? So in an effort to avoid this, it is important that we sow the carrot in the appropriate manner to begin with.
Yes.
So those points you highlighted is very crucial.
And person would also observe when it is too high of a high density, that we have smaller growing carrots.
Smaller roots. Why?
Smaller roots. Because it's space.
And they compete. They will compete for what?
For space, for light, for water.
For nutrients.
For nutrients.
Ideally so. Yes. Great. So let's look at some cultural practices relating to disease control, pest control, weed management, of course, and we'll also be looking at fertilizer application. Now, disease control is generally done weekly or when necessary. It's necessary to prevent carrots from being affected by diseases. As it relates to pest control, it is recommended that we scout and observe the field for a sign of pest damage, and then to determine the application of the most suitable method of pest control, so to speak. Now, weed control can be done mechanically or chemically, and we know for a fact that we do have some great products from our portfolio that really gives farmers the solution that they need to deal with both disease control, pest control, weed control as well. And as I highlighted earlier, we'll be also touching on fertilizer application, which is often best done at germination or after germination, depending on the cultural practices within different zones. Yes. Good. Now, Major pests affecting carrots production locally. It is important that when we're dealing with pests management, that we are able to identify the pests or have an idea of the sort of pests that affect the particular crop that we are producing, because by way of doing that, we can put together the right solutions or pest control strategy within our program for the best results. So locally for carrot production, nematodes tend to be an issue. So many farmers may be reaping carrot, and the carrot is not aesthetically pleasing, where it has a lot of bumps. Bumps are what, like on the root, right? That is a result of nematodes. And also wireworms that actually will damage our feed and our feed and the root of the root of the carrot. And these are two of the main soil pests that really affects carrot production. In dealing with this, we recommend that some amount of scouting is done for you to monitor your insect pest population, and for you to determine when it is of importance for you to implement your management strategies, so to speak. Management strategies may include, of course, your cultural practices, right? When we speak of cultural practices, this also including practices such as crop rotation, because if you continuously cultivate one particular crop within the same family group, then what you realize is that the insect pests or disease that actually strives on that particular crop tend to, you have greater incidence of disease or that sort of disease affecting that family crop over time. So ideally it is recommended for us to practice crop rotation as a strategy. Yes. Also to have field sanitation. Field sanitation is ideally important, because I can tell you, if you practice good field sanitation practices, you would have truly eliminated a high percentage of incidence of the disease. And where I stand, I can safely say about 80% of your disease issues would have been eliminated if you do practice field sanitation as a measure.
And with that said, Mr. Grant,
yes.
Some farmers have this common practice. After harvesting the carrots, persons will leave the foliage in the field. Now, we would want to discourage that.
True.
Because that is basically giving the microclimate, as I said before, the environment for any other disease or pest to strive on that foliage area there.
Because you actually leave food.
You leave food.
Exactly.
So if you go back to plant the same crop or a different crop, you might have an infestation taking place.
Yeah, the possibility of
so we encourage persons to remove the foliage after and discard them somewhere else.
Right. Or even to bury the stubble.
Yes.
Bury the refuse, right? Which will help to provide some more amount of nutrients to your soil. Great. Now, common diseases affecting carrot locally is our powdery mildew. Of course, downy mildew, blight, and bacterial soft rot. And these diseases can be controlled. Your first line of defense is actually selecting a variety that gives you excellent disease resistance. That is important. Proper land preparation as well, and also sticking to the principles surrounding crop rotation and, of course, field sanitation. Now, as he looks at our production guide for land clearing, because persons will be cleaning down land in an effort to start production. What is it that you do recommend?
Okay, so we recommending to farmers how to actually to prepare their land. Now, firstly, we must highlight that weeds are very competitive.
Yes, they are.
And they compete with the carrot for space, for water, for nutrients. So it's equally important as you prepare your land that you have a good weed management program from start to up to your production period. Now, we at H&L Agro have a wide range of chemicals that is used and suitable for the production of carrot and also the weed management of carrot. Now, we have in our portfolio glyphosate, which is a very excellent pre-emergent chemical. It's also a systemic chemical. That means it kills both foliage and root. Now, we recommend for the application of 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon. And this is for land clearing, and it's a spectrum chemical. Dual Gold, which is an excellent herbicide, it actually kills weed seeds. So for carrot production, before you sow your carrot seeds, you actually would apply your Dual Gold. Now, it's a pre-emergent and post-emergent herbicide. We recommend that to apply this between 30 days before establishment. Also, we encourage persons in a moist condition, and we are actually before planting encourage farmers to actually irrigate the soil so you can basically push some of the chemical further down into the soil. Now, what it does, it kills the weed seed. This will give you a great protection for your carrot production over the period. We have in our arsenal also fusilate, which is post-emergent, and also a systemic, which is recommended to apply at 1 tablespoon or 0.7 to 1 liter to the acre. Now, we also have our pilarbuzin, which is one of our excellent herbicide that controls your weed during your production period. This will control your weeds within that period. It's a contact chemical. It applies at 2 tablespoons to the gallon, or 136 grams to the acre. Now, these are some of our herbicides that to control your prolific weeds that will compete with your carrots for your space, for sunlight, for nutrients. So we at H&L Agro have a wide range of herbicides, and on our set here we have some of these herbicides. Our pilarbuzin is right there, so we are highlighting that also.
Great, you highlighted some very important point, but I want to ask you, when do you use glyphosate? When do you use?
All right, so the glyphosate will be used in your land clearing.
Okay, so it's at that stage when you're actually clearing the land. So it's before
your production period. So for to remove any weeds, any vegetation, you use your glyphosate before.
Okay, great. So it's just for clearing the land now, so you can go in and really start
and then plow your soil.
Great. You also highlighted the Dual Gold, and what I got from the Dual Gold is that if Dual Gold is used as a pre-emergent, right, it gives control of weed seeds. But the question is, how long? What amount of control do you get, and how long? How long of a control?
This will give you a control of about 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months?
3 to 6 months.
Great.
That's excellent control.
And that is what I want to bring out. And the base is that locally, labor can be very challenging and expensive. So if you have a product that can give you that sort of solution for at least 3 months, labor-free, for weed control, that will lower your production costs significantly and improve your earning potential. And if it's at 3 months, remember our varieties in terms of our harvesting period is at 90 days to 110 days. No, you want to tell me that basically I will be having a weed-free environment where my carrot can strive with minimal competition against weed?
Yes.
No, that is excellent, and that is a sort of solution that needs to be highlighted, because here at H&L, that is the sort of technology that we bring to the forefront to farmers to give them that sort of power in production to ensure that they get the best yield possible. That is an excellent product.
Just to highlight a little bit more about the dual goal.
Yes.
It is equally important for farmers to understand when you apply your dual goal, you apply it in a reverse action.
Yes.
And that is critical because what will happen, you don't want to break the film
right.
of the chemical when you apply it to the soil surface.
Okay.
Now, the chemical will get onto the soil surface and penetrate the soil and now kill the weed seed. So that offers the greater protection, as you said, between 3 to 6 months.
Nice.
No, because it kills the weed seed. It doesn't kill weeds, it kills weed seeds. Good. So it's an excellent product. Will give you a long-lasting control, especially for carrot.
And that is good. And you also mentioned that it was ideally important for the soil to be moist
yes.
because when the soil is moist and you apply your dual goal, it creates a thin film over the soil surface and it moves along with your water through the column of the soil deeper into the depths of the soil. So the greater the moisture content and that penetration of the soil, or should I say the movement of water through the soil, then the dual goal and it's active with its S-metachlor, right?
Yes.
Gets the ability to come into contact with weed seed in the soil and deeper in the soil surface and render them inactive.
Very much so.
Perfect. I get you. Great. So let's also highlight some of the insect pests that does affect carrot production. Earlier I mentioned of your wireworms and of course your nematodes. But what are some of the solutions from our portfolio that can be utilized to give you very excellent control of wireworms and nematodes? And
as you highlighted before about these insect pests, we have excellent products to control these. And our recommended products would come in the form of Caratizion.
Great.
And that is now an excellent product. It has the Xeon technology.
Yes.
And the Xeon technology is basically the chemical is capsulated.
Okay.
So it forms a capsule. When you apply it to the surface of your plant, it forms a capsule, attaches to the leaves of the plant, and it releases, bursts and release slowly. So persons might say a capsule. So for persons who have no your carnivore oil tablets,
right?
That's a similar example of what it will form in, and it breaks and release slowly. So if your insect pest might have migrated and come back into the field, it will come in contact with that chemical and render it useless.
Excellent. So what you're saying is basically is that the active ingredient is encapsulated.
Yes.
Great. I think I came across some literature where it also stated that the mere fact that it's encapsulated, that property allows the product to adhere or sticks to any surface. So that means that it won't be washed off easily by a rainfall. So all it needs is a 15 minutes to half an hour for it to actually adhere to the surface of the plant, and irrigation, if even applied, will not wash the chemical off. It is also stated that it is photostable, so it's not affected by light or say external temperature, right? Which is excellent, and that mere fact that it is encapsulated, as you highlighted, and that it bursts or cracks, gives it the slow releasing property. So therefore, the active ingredient, which is lambda cyhalothrin, stays a bit longer in the field, and as such gives you better control over a longer period of time.
Yes.
No, that definitely will impact on your production in terms of your production cost, because if you're having a chemical like Caratizion that gives that slower release properties over a longer period of time, it means that it will reduce your need of consistent spraying, right? Yes. Perfect.
And give you a greater protection and longer protection.
That is excellent.
It is equally important for us to highlight the application rate of this chemical.
Yes.
Now, the Caratizion can be applied at 1 teaspoon per gallon of water.
Right.
Or 225 ml per acre.
Per acre. Great.
Now, the nematode that you mentioned that create these warts or these bumps on the carrot.
Right.
Now, the Actara is an excellent
yes.
Solution for that.
You're so true.
Now, the Actara can be applied as a drench,
right.
so a soil drench.
Right.
Now, when you apply a soil drench, it will get into the soil and actually control or reduce the infestation of nematodes.
Good, good. So your Actara then is not only an insecticide, as most people would have thought. It's also a nematicide, because in truth and in fact, nematodes are different from insects. Great. So now you're getting more benefit. To say from your Actara that is function in this capacity as a nematicide in control soil-borne insect pests such as nematodes. But I would also want to take the opportunity to highlight that it has, and the reason why it is able to do this is because it has the ability to stay active within the soil for some period, and that is what gives you that control. Also, it is taken up by the crop where it is distributed upwards, where it's said to be acropetal, where it moves from the root system up to the foliage of the plant through the vascular tissue. No, that is excellent. That is the sort of technology that should be used locally to give farmers excellent solutions. Yes.
So to our farmers, the application rate for your Actara is half a teaspoon per gallon, or 170 grams per acre. Now this solution, Mr. Grant, gives a farmer added protection and long-lasting protection. It gives you protect you throughout your crop period. So with these products, it gives you the farmer a greater benefit in terms of potential earnings.
And I do agree. And in terms of benefit, so often farmers tend to, in an effort to get the best out of production, they do use some sort of stimulant to stimulate growth. I just want to take the opportunity to highlight that if you have been utilizing Actara, one of the novelty benefits of Actara is that it stimulates a protein synthesis that results in vigorous root growth. And carrot is a root crop, and you really need that root growth. So if you have been using Actara on your crops, in this case on your carrot, so to speak, it will also facilitate your expansion and extension in terms of growth of your carrots. Excellent.
Yes. So
Good.
Mr. Grant.
Yes.
Now, what about disease management?
Now, disease management is equally important as any other areas that we have looked at. Very much critical. When we speak about the disease, we really speak about pathogenic infection that is caused from microbial organisms. And these commonly, fungus and of course bacteria, so to speak. Now, early on in the presentation, you highlighted that is recommended if you're providing irrigation or water, so to speak, that you water early in the morning, and that is so that you don't keep a moist environment, because if you water during the morning, by the time the evening, in the evening, the water would have been absorbed by the, but not only that, but excess would have been evaporated. So you have more of a drier condition that is really not conducive to majority of fungal formation. So one of the things that we do know about fungal infection is that they tend to like a moist condition. Environment is more conducive to their proliferation. So we just need to get that out as a part of our disease management program. Now, some of the diseases that do affect carrots is your powdery mildew, which is quite a common the disease. It almost wants to appear as if there's a bit of flour that is that is sprinkled on your plant leaf, especially the underside, right? Powdery mildew also have mildew, which appear as oil-soaked yellow spots that over time becomes brownish. But we also have our leaf spots and blight, of course. And of course, we do have our bacterial soft rot. These are common the diseases. For your leaf spot and blights and your bacterial soft rot, these tend to be a bit more common under wetter conditions, so to speak. Now, as it relates to the solution from our H&L Agro portfolio in controlling these pathogenic micro disease, I should say, powdery mildew, we have an excellent product that is called Score. Score will address majority of your fungal issues, right? Actually, Score as a triazole has the ability to control 3 of your 4 major fungal groups. So we're talking about those that is in your Deuteromycota group, your Ascomycota and your Basidiomycota group. So Score as a triazole has that ability. So majority of fungal leaf spots, Score has the ability to control those. As it relates to your downy mildew, which is really falls in the family of water molds, which is your Oomycetes or your Oomycota group, we recommend the use of Amistar, because Amistar, which is a strombol, its active ingredients is azathiostrobin, which is a very potent compound with this family of chemical. It has one of the broadest spectrum range of any fungicide known globally. It has the ability to actually address or eliminate your 4 major fungal groups that tend to affect majority of cultivated crops. So it has the potency to addressing your downy mildew. In terms of your leaf spot and your blights, we recommend your Ridomil. Excellent, because it is dual action in that it gives you both contact protection as well as systemic, and the basis that a part of its active ingredient consists of a product that is called metalaxyl, and metalaxyl has the ability to penetrate into the plant tissue and vascular system to actually arrest fungal microbes that have actually entered the tissue of the plant. So the metalaxyl component gives you that systemic action, and also eradicate act as an eradicant in that it will actually render those fungal microbes that has entered the plant tissue inactive, right, by way of eradicating them. The other component which is a part of it, the Ridomil's active ingredients, is mancozeb, and mancozeb gives you excellent protection, right? Excellent protection. It's a it's a multi-site action component, and because of this, fungal microbes doesn't develop resistance quickly to products containing mancozeb. So here we are highlighting Ridomil containing both metalaxyl and mancozeb, and this is what actually puts Ridomil in a class by itself, giving you excellent control over leaf spot and blights. As it relates to bacterial spots, right, our bacterial issue, your bacterial issue, bacteria in general is different from fungus. So what you will realize is that most fungicides does not have a bacterial action, but those fungicides that tend to be copper-based, right? So for example, in our portfolio, we have our Coside, which is a copper-based. Copper hydroxide is the active ingredient, gives you excellent control of your bacterial issues. Now, as it relates to your dosage rate for your score is actually 1 teaspoon per gallon, 1 to 2 teaspoon per gallon, and a teaspoon here is referred to 5 ml. So it's anywhere between 5 and 10 ml per gallon of water, and that will amount to about 90 ml to 45 to 90 ml really. Now your Amistar is 1 teaspoon, which is actually 5 grams, and to a 45 gallon drum that will amount to about 225 grams in terms of usage to your acre. For your Ridomil is 22.5 grams, which is a tablespoon and a half, and that will amount to about 1,012.5 grams to the acre. For your your core side is a tablespoon, which is 15 ml to the acre, and that can falls a little bit below 1,000 grams to the acre. Right.
Very good.
Man, great. Now, fertilizer application is important because you know with the cultivation of crops, especially if you're not using virgin land, for a field that has been continuously utilized, over time, fertilizer will be depleted. Your nutrients will be depleted. And even for virgin land, especially for persons who don't have a good awareness of the nutrient constituents of the soil, so to speak, right? It is important for you to ensure that your plant has access to nutrients, and this is basically done by way of the application of fertilizer. So, Mr. Gardner, I want you to actually walk us through the fertilizer program, or the traditionally used fertilizer program for carrots.
Okay, so for carrots, it is equally important to have adequate nutrients. So we spoke about land preparation, we spoke about weed management, and now we are into fertilizer management program. Now, persons would want to know that we at H&L Agro provide solution that gives them the best offering in terms of nutrients. Now, we're going to look at traditional blends of fertilizer that persons use, and at the period that person should apply this fertilizer. Now, the germination of a carrot, we would recommend that persons after germination of 2 weeks, after 2 weeks of germination, persons would use a blend of 11-22-22.
Right.
Good. And this would be done in a broadcasting method, that basically just broadcasting the fertilizer over the surface of the soil.
Great.
We recommend that you fertilize not in the early morning when the moisture level is high, because we don't want the granular fertilizers to stick onto the leaf of the plant and cause burning.
Right.
Good. 8 to 10 weeks, you would apply your 14-28-40, which gives you a balanced nutrient for your root development. Good. At that stage, it gives you the development of the root, the bulking that you're looking for in that period. And you also would broadcast that. With every 14 days, you apply our algas and our multi-feed root vegetable fertilizer. Now, algas, it is an excellent organic biostimulant.
Yes.
It helps with your root development. It helps with your foliage development also. And also it can be applied in the early stage of your production to help with that rigorous root development in your carrot production. Our multi-feed root developed vegetable can be applied through foliar. It is absorbed by the leaf, and then now it helps with the development of your root, of your carrot roots. Now, these are excellent solution. For your multi-feed, it is 1.1 pounds to the acre.
1.1 pound, and they come in 2.2 pound
And they
bags.
come in 2.2 bags. So that means
Great.
you're getting a buck for dollar for your
Definitely so.
Good. So these are some of the fertilizer program management. Also, we at H&L Agro, we can persons who would feel free to contact us. We'll give you the full program for your fertilizer program for your carrots.
Great. As it relates to the best tips, looking at the best tips for farmers, what are some of the areas that they should truly focus on, and what should be bring to the forefront during carrot production? Right. So we need to water often, as I said, because I said to you earlier, water is most critical during the germination stage and also at near maturity for root expansion to actually take place. Now, it is recommended for you to provide adequate irrigation for proper germination to take place, right? And once sprouted carrots will need about an inch of water per week. Loosen soil, meaning that at preparation, you want to plow your soil adequately, at least to 12 inches in terms of depth. Soil should be loose and friable, and that improves drainage. But most important, it gives the carrot the ability or the opportunity for deeper penetration within the soil and for expansion without the compression of the soil around that developing root, right? And you also get more straighter roots when you have that friable soil that the root can easily penetrate, which is great. Now, it's said to give adequate spacing, and as such, we recommend that you sow lightly. And as what you highlighted earlier on, mix one part sand, one part carrot to 3 parts sand, and that is for
even distribution.
For even distribution. And if you distribute or broadcast your carrot seeds over the land and germination, it is compact. It is recommended that you resort to what? Thinning them out, right? Because thinning them out so as to give your carrot the chance to adequately grow and they develop good size roots. So to speak. Now, fertilization is important in keeping your carrots healthy. A month and a half after planting, your plant should be fertilized. Carrots love phosphate-based fertilizer because phosphate help in root development. But you can also add algae, as highlighted, plant tonic, and of course our multi-feed root vegetable fertilizer to facilitate good root development. So here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I can assure you adhering to these practices can make the difference between success and failure. Great. Any last words?
Yes, I just want to encourage our farmers to come to H&L Agro, speak to our reps. We will be able to guide you, to give you relevant information on your carrot production.
Great. And Dre, now we're going to look at cucumbers. And you and I know that cucumber is no stranger to the Jamaican diet, right? Now, we know our H&L Agro portfolio offers 4 excellent varieties of cucumber to the local market. However, let's give an overview of cucumber. Cucumber, its botanical name is Cucumis sativa, and it's within the family Cucurbitaceae. So it's a cucurbit. So it's related to your pumpkin, watermelon, your squash. Good. And it originates in South Asia. Actually, it is said to be native to India. All right, good enough. Our H&L portfolio offerings presents 4 wonderful variety to the local market. And those varieties are Thunder, Thunderbird, Eureka, and of course, our new Cuke on the block, that is Bristol. Great. Now, cucumber is a warm season crop. It's vining, and it's an annual plant in the family Cucurbitaceae, as I highlighted, and it's grown for its edible fruits.
Yes.
The cucumber plant is a sprawling vine with large leaves and curling tendrils. And tendrils are those, what we call now, it's a modified root that is found near to each leaf, so to speak. The leaves of the plant are arranged alternately on the vines, and it have about 3 to 7 pointed lobes and are quite hairy. So cucumber leaves tend to have somewhat like a velvety feel. Good. The cucumber plant produces yellow flowers, and that insect pests, that insects are attracted to, right? Great, which is a good thing because they need to be pollinated. Good. And the flowers can be about 4 centimeters or 1.6 inches in diameter. The cucumber fruit varies in shape, but is generally a curved cylinder, rounded at both ends, that can reach up to about 60 centimeters, which is a what? 24 inch in length, and 10 centimeters, 3.9 in diameter. So that's a fairly big cucumber size. But you do have smaller varieties.
Pickle varieties.
Right, that is your pickle. Now, cucumber plants are annual plants surviving only one growing season, and the vines can reach up to 5 meters or 16.4 feet in length. And again, this varies with the variety. Good. Now, in terms of cucumber, a lot of persons don't know that cucumber, despite having a high percentage of water, that it has excellent nutritional benefits. And that is what I'm going to need you to highlight for us.
Now, cucumber, for persons who are moving on the more health conscious side, provides an excellent solution for that. Persons who are into green juices,
nice,
that complements whatever you're blending. Cucumber gives you that flexibility for your green juices. A person who are more health conscious.
Great.
Now, it is not naturally sweet, but Mr. Grant would mention that it has a high water content, and that is also excellent for your dietary and your fiber. It also has fibers that provide good bowel movement. So it also provides a load of vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, and B6. It also provide folic acid and vitamin C, iron, calcium, zinc, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium. It is also has 95% water.
Whoa. So you want to tell me that cucumber has so much, vitamins and minerals packed into that one fruit?
One fruit.
Whoa.
It can be a slice, can be used as a pureed or slice cucumber. Give you almost instant relief to sunburn skin.
So that is true. I've seen it.
So persons who might be exposed to the high level of sun, if you slice that and put on the sun-scarred skin, it reduces that significantly.
Great.
Cucumber can also help lower your eye puffiness. So persons who might have baggy eyes because of lack of sleep, if you cut that side of tomato, relax and put it over the eyes, it gives you excellent reduction in those puffy eyes. And these are some quick facts on your cucumber.
Great. Now, we're going to look at some of our varieties from our H&L Agro seed portfolio that we do offer to our market. We do have our newest cucumber, so to speak, which is our Bristol variety. Can you give us some of the characteristics and features?
Yes. Now, Bristol, which is from our Seminis supplier, is also an excellent cucumber and has just taken onto our local market. Now, this Bristol cucumber is a gynaeceous hybrid slicing cucumber variety. It's an early maturing variety within 55 days.
So it comes in 55
days.
Good.
So that gives you a greater turnover time in your production period for persons who are producing cucumber.
Yes.
It produces high yield of straight dark green 8 inches slicing cucumber.
Yes.
Now that is excellent for persons within the local market. Some persons like that type of cucumber. The length is perfect for the household use and other purposes.
Yes.
It exhibits exceptional disease resistance, such as our powdery mildew, our mold, downy mildew, cucumber mosaic virus, our yellow mosaic virus, angular leaf spot, anthracnose, scabs, papaya ring virus, and these are some of the viruses that affects cucumber. And this Bristol is resistant against these disease.
Great.
It produces perfectly shaped fruit with great quality and color. Some persons like a more darker green cucumber. It gives you that darker green and it's very appealing in your meal preparation and different purposes.
Great.
Plants are vigorous and have a nice balance of vegetative growth, viruses, fruit production, vigorous fruit production.
Nice. Those are some excellent points that you have actually brought out. I can't help but to highlight the disease-resistant package that it actually comes with. Resistance against powdery mildew, downy mildew, cucumber mosaic virus, zucchini yellow mosaic virus, angular leaf spot, anthracnose, scab, and papaya ring spot virus. And as you and I know, once a plant has a virus, there is no cure.
Yes.
So, and these are some of the common viruses affecting cucumber production locally. So if you have a variety that gives you this sort of excellent disease-resistant package against these common diseases that affect majority of cucumbers locally, I mean, this would be of advantage to many cucumber farmers because now you have a variety that has excellent performance out there in the field. And I can tell you, that is a sort of characteristics or features of a cucumber that makes sense, if you get my drift.
Yes, Mr.
All right, great.
Now, Mr. Grant, we have thunder. What are some of the characteristics of the thunder?
Thunder. Well, I want to tell you, thunder is an exceptional variety. It comes into maturity at about 56 days. So it's an early maturing variety. It is used mainly for slicing. Great. Thunder is dark green, slicing cucumber hybrid, and it produces smooth, glossy, uniform, and vigorous vines. Right? Good enough. Thunder has the potential to produce a high percentage of super quality select fruits, and it's highly floriferous in that it produces a lot of flower, and each flower is basically a fruit being produced. So it's highly productive. It produces fruits that are uniformly straight, averaging about 4 pounds per vine. It produces smooth green fruits, and I said that they are quite glossy. So in terms of aesthetic, they're very appealing to the eye. And fruit averages anywhere between 20.3 to 22.9 centimeter in length. So you're looking at excellent fruit quality, and those are the characteristics and features of our Thunderbird.
I just want to know,
cucumber.
what is the importance of having a vigorous vine?
A vigorous vine.
Yes.
Now, a vigorous vine really speaks to the overall growth and production productivity of the crop. Because if you have a vigorously growing crop with that has robust vine, it means that the plant exhibits exhibits a quick growing property that will support foliage growth, but not only that, but also for the production of your cucumber fruits overall.
Okay.
Right. So that's an excellent quality that is worthwhile highlighting. Talking about thunder do lead me to asking you about our Thunderbird, because you have thunder, and now we're going to the Thunderbird.
No,
great. So
Thunderbird.
Yes, tell me about our Thunderbird.
Also an excellent variety, Mr. Grant. Performance is over the charts. Now
Yes.
it's an anganaceous hybrid starting cucumber, and we know that persons like to have sliced tomatoes in their in the vegetable dishes. It is very vigorous and produce productive plant type that matures within 60 days.
Yes.
So if we can recap our Bristol 55 days of maturity,
Right.
our Thunder is 56 days,
Right.
and now our Thunderbird is 60 days. This is definitely showing you a pattern of maturity,
Right.
early maturity. Persons can basically use number of crops throughout the growing season.
Yes.
And very critical. High yielding potential with smooth and cylindrical, dark green, spineless fruit.
Yes.
It's a garnaceous plant type. Will need a pollinator. So garnaceous plant you will need to pollinate, helping the pollination process
Yes.
of the plant. It's exceptional multivirus and fungal disease resistant package,
Yes.
offering robust resistance to common diseases.
Yes.
It is high to scab, to anthracnose, watermelons, and mosaic virus. These are some of the excellent disease package that the Thunderbird has. It gives you a large fruit,
Yes.
and it is highly productive within our region.
So like an exceptional variety. I am familiar with Thunderbird, and it produces very large cucumbers. I can attest to that. You highlighted earlier on that is that it is gynoecious.
Yes.
Right. And what it is saying to our viewers is really that the cucumber produces an abundant of female flowers, right? It also produces male flowers, but to a smaller extent, or a small percentage of male flowers. The beauty of it is that those male flowers that is produced will pollinate or produces pollen for the pollination of the female flower. So it means that the more female flower you have on your plant, is the greater the production. Right, so that is an excellent characteristics of the variety. Yes.
Now we have the Eureka, Mr. Grant. Tell us about the Eureka.
Eureka, I have found it. Well, as it relates to the Eureka, it's really a pickle type cucumber. It's really a smaller variety, and it matures within 57 days after planting or sowing the seeds. It's dark green with white stripes. Fruits average about 1.5 to 5 inches in terms of length. It's very firm and compact, and it gives you excellent resistance to downy mildew, angular leaf spot, scab, anthracnose races 1 and 2, powdery mildew, papaya ring spot virus, water melon mosaic virus, zucchini yellow virus, as well as your cucumber mosaic virus, right? And it yields about 8 to 12 tons per acre. As it relates to size, as I highlighted early on, your Eureka can also be used for slicing purposes, right? So it can be both used as a pickle as well as a slicing variety. That is excellent. So dual purpose in terms of use. That is exceptional.
And I must say to you, Mr. Grant, just last week, I was in Tophill, St. Elizabeth, and I have a farmer there. And the persons who are going to the market requesting the Eureka variety, the pickle type, because they're saying that is what the housewives are requesting right now. So this is an excellent variety, dual purpose, slicing plus pickle is excellent for that, for production.
True, and that really that really brings up a thought to really go back as it relates to your Thunderbird, because we do know that our Thunderbird produces very large and heavy fruits. But we have seen where the juice industry locally, right, those manufacturers that makes cucumber juice, because there's a greater acceptance now our taste for cucumber juice, and as such there's a demand for larger cucumbers that have a high water content, and our Thunderbird is one of those variety that really fits perfectly well into that market, so to speak. Now, as it relates to our planting schedule, cucumber is a tropical vegetable, good enough, and it can be cultivated year round. Cucumber prefers warm weather condition, averaging anywhere between 18 degrees Celsius and 24 degrees Celsius. Ideally above 16 degrees Celsius at night, so to speak, and above 22 degrees Celsius during the day. And it will strive extremely well with these temperature ranges. So cucumber can thrive in an open field plots exposed to full sun, and they love that. The full sun being exposed to full sun. It is recommended that you provide 1 to 2 inches of water once or twice a week at the root zone to maintain soil moisture, because as you know, cucumber don't like to remain wet or has consistent moisture, or wet, heavy moisture I should say, on their foliage. Now, it is also recommended that you water the plants in the morning so as to avoid build-up of water and the plant foliage if it is done during the evening. And as we had highlighted, that having that high moisture content create the perfect environment for fungal infection. Cucumber likes loose, well-drained soil with a pH between 6 and 7. We also recommend that you can incorporate a layer of compost, right, to facilitate the presence of nutrients or nutrients availability, and to improve the soil conditions so as to facilitate adequate growth. You can also side dress with some compost during the development, or when the first runners develop and the flowers start to be produced. Yes.
Okay.
Now you proper
it's important.
Preparation is, of course, is important. I would like you to shed some light on that.
Traditionally, cucumber are grown on rows along ridges, or flat beds, or trellises.
Yes.
If ridges are established, land should be plowed or forked at a depth of 12 inches.
Right.
Organic matter can be added to the soil to improve fertility and texture. Our 40+ fertilizer, it is 4-3-3, can be applied. Will give you maximum and optimum nutrients to your plants.
Great. That is so true. Now, land prep, you can prepare cucumber seedling in cell trays that are relatively large. So recommendation is that you can use your 78 cell trays for planting. Yeah, and no, this is not something that is some farmers, I should say, do practice this method of catching their cucumber seedlings in tray, acclimatize them before planting, right? So the root ball of the cucumber though is not disturbed, because in truth and in fact, cucumber doesn't like their root to be disturbed. disturbed. So that's so persons need to take care when actually removing your cucumber seedlings from those trays. And if you realize it is the large cell trays we use and not the smaller one, this is to really avoid damages or disturbing root development, right? So seedlings can be planted anywhere at 3 to 4 weeks old, when they are about 4 to 6 inches in terms of height. Ensure plants are hard enough or acclimatized to the field conditions before planting. Good. Or you can direct sow seeds, establish drills or holes 3 feet apart along rows and 4 feet between rows. If you are doing your trellis methods of cultivation, which is something that many farmers has been practicing on the basis that it takes the plant or the vine and of course it's subsequently the fruit of the ground and gives better handling and management and maximize the usage of space. So if you're using this method, you can have a higher planting density and as such plant your cucumbers at least at 1 to 2 feet along the rows by 3 feet between rows. Good, right? You know, as it relates to land preparation as well and hilly terrain, it is ideally for us to run the furrows along the contour and not along the gradient, and this is to avoid erosion issues and so on. And level land, you can run your furrows north to south, and so for the capturing of maximum sunlight, and also you can cut your furrows just a few days before planting so as to minimize weed growth, so to speak. Yes. Tell us a little about the planting of cucumber seeds.
Some embark in direct seeding, or direct sowing, and place 2 cucumber seeds directly into the drills or holes. Seeds should be sown no more than a half to 1 inch in depth. This, we recommend a person not to bury the seed too deeply into the soil, so because the plant is a surface feeder. You want to come up. Germination occurs between 3 to 4 days after planting, so it germinates very quickly. Molding should be done 2 weeks after planting or transplanting. It's optional, so persons can mold for adequate support around the plant root. Some persons would not mold, depending on your preference as a farmer.
Your preference,
Planting cucumber density, the planting space. Direct planting is 3 feet by 4 feet, which equals to 14 feet. Is per acre is 3,101 plants to the acre, and for trellis is 2 feet by 3 feet, equal to 6 feet. Is 7,260 plants to the acre, or 18,150 to the hectare. And for direct seeding, it is 7,778 to the hectare.
Great. That says in a lot. Now, in terms of our cultural practices, surrounding pest and disease management as well as weed control, we do know that these factors do impact on your crop production, especially if you don't pay attention to these. So for disease control, ideally it is recommended that persons do a weekly carries out their disease management control practices on a weekly basis, or when necessary, as to prevent your cucumber from being affected by diseases. Remember that these diseases can affect your crop, and because the signs and symptoms are not readily noticed to the eye, by the time you have noticed the signs and symptoms, oftentimes it's a little bit too late. Remember, these are microscopic organisms. You will not readily see them with the naked eye, and as such it is recommended why you have a robust disease management program and you weekly implement strategies at addressing the disease. For your pest control, you can scout your field, and scouting involve observation for you to determine when it is necessary for you to go in and actually implement your pest control measures. Now, weed control is as it relates to addressing the issue of weed, is generally done at land preparation where land is clear, and also during your production phase. And weed control can be done mechanically, or it can be done chemically. Fertilizer application is also of great importance for you to provide adequate amount of nutrients to the soil for uptake in order to facilitate optimal growth, and for you to realize the true potential of the variety that you are growing. Now, as it relates to pest and disease management, your major pests affecting cucumbers are basically like your aphids, cucumber beetles, white flies, thrips, and these are just some of them. You do have more. As I like, scouting is very important in monitoring your insect pests.
Yes.
Population and to assess the degree of damage, right? Because there's a what we call insect pest threshold, right? And scouting and observation slash monitoring your field will give you the ability to tell you when it is necessary for you to go in and implement your pest control or your disease control measure. Management strategies, as usual, crop rotation is of great importance. Having a good field rotation practices as a preventative method. Buying or purchasing seeds from a reputable source, because planting disease-free seeds is of great importance, because there are particular diseases that can be transmitted by way of infected seeds. So these are just some of the things that can be done in an effort to safeguard your crop production before even planting. Some of the common diseases affecting production would have been like your downy mildew, powdery mildew, alternera, anthracnose, and of course leaf spot diseases such as cerospora. Great, Mr. Garden. So with all that has been said, I'd really wanted to walk us through our H&L Agro cucumber production guide.
Okay, and as we had highlighted before, Mr. Grant, we have some excellent products for weed in our cucumber production.
Yes.
Our first herbicide would be a broad spectrum systemic herbicide that should be used at the land stage.
Yes.
And it can be applied 1 to 2 tablespoons to the gland, or 0.6 to 1.3 liters to the acre. We also have dicot, which is also a broad spectrum herbicide that can be applied at 1 to the gallon, or 0.6 to 1.3 liter to the acre. We also have our dual, we highlighted before, which is excellent chemical where it actually kills weed seeds. It's important for us to highlight that. It kills weed seeds. It should be applied in a reverse action so that that person would not break the film of the chemical or the active ingredient, or which would come in contact with the surface of the soil. It should be applied under moist conditions, where moisture would activate the active ingredient and pushes that active ingredient to the soil, where the seeds would absorb that moisture along with the active ingredient and actually control those weed seeds. It would actually apply at a rate of 2 tablespoons to the gallon,
right,
or 0.6 liter to the acre. We also have clay, which is also a systemic chemical that kills grasses. it should be applied at 1 tablespoon to the gallon or 0.6 liter the acre. And these are excellent herbicide that give you maximum production protection for against weeds for your crops.
Great. You had highlighted the fuse lid. So the fuse lid can be utilized when? When do you use the fuse lid?
Okay, so it can be for during the production of the production period.
During the production period. So it's a selective. Post-emergent herbicide. And if it's selective, it will mean that it would have affected your cucumber crop. Great. No, that is excellent, and that is the sort of solution that cucumber farmers need. Now, our H&L pest management program involves the use of a variety of products to give you the best crop care solution to addressing your pest and disease issues that may arise during production. But as I highlighted with any crop, it is important for you to identify those pests that will be affecting the crop in an effort for you to select the right products that are designed in those pests. One of the common pests affecting cucumber production is snails and slugs.
Yes.
Did you know that snails and slugs create significant damage if you don't keep them in check to your cucumber crops? We have is that we recommend deadline. Deadline comes in the form of that is placed on the land as a bait, and it has an attractant. That means it gives out a smell that actually attracts those snails and our slugs. And when they feed or eat the deadline or ingest the deadline, I should say, it actually kills them. It is recommended to use about 9 pounds of deadline per acre. Some of the other pests affecting cucumber is your whitefly, your aphids, and of course your thrips. And these can be easily addressed using insecticides such as your Actara and your NGO. Your Actara is 2.5 grams per gallon. Your NGO is also 2.5 milliliters per gallon. If you're using Actara per acre, that is equivalent to about 117 grams to the acre, and it has a pH of 3 days. For your NGO, which is 2.5 ml per gallon, that is equivalent to about 112.5 ml per gallon of water, and also gives you a pH of 3 days. Stating insect pests such as your cucumber beetles. I have different type of cucumber beetles. What can be used to give you excellent control, of course, is a Celecran, and of course your karate. For your Celecran, it's 10 ml per gallon of water, and this will be equivalent to about 450 ml per acre, and it has a pH of 4 days. For your karate, it is 5 ml per gallon, and this is equivalent to 225 ml, 25 ml per acre, having a pH which is a pre-harvest interval of 7 days. Now, cucumbers are also plagued by caterpillars, which is the larvae of moth and butterfly species, and I can tell you firsthand that if you don't control these pests, can create significant damage both to your crop and devastate your fruit. What we do recommend in the use is the use of products such as match, which matches a larvicide and it targets caterpillars. Also, it has ovicidal properties, and that allows the chemical to actually damage the eggs. Now, in terms of per gallon of water, and that actually is equivalent to about 450 ml per acre. We have having a pH of 20 days. So the recommendation is that to use your match within the earlier period of your production cycle. So when the cucumbers are at a younger or earlier stage, right? Tracer, which is an product containing spinosad, 0.5 gallons water. And the reason why I want to do is that if the infestation is relatively low, then you can use 1 teaspoon, which is 5 ml to your 5 gallons of water. If you have a high infestation, then you can use 2 teaspoons per 5 gallons of water. Using your 1 teaspoon per 5 gallons of water will give you about 5 ml to the acre, and if you're using the higher dose, which is 2, that is 90 ml to the acre. As it relates to your PHI, it's 1 day. So the beauty of this is that it doesn't disrupt your marketing activity. Spray at a day pass and you after. Now, as it relates to our BTs, which is our organic solution, our BTs consist of Zentari, Dipel, and Agri, and they consist of cultured microbe, bacteria, I should say bacterial microbe, Bacillus thuringiensis, and in terms of dosage or application rate, it is 2 tablespoons per gallon of water, and this is equivalent to 1,359 grams to the 45 gallon drum. And the beauty of this as well is that you have a pHI of 0, meaning that, I should say, it creates the opportunity for you to apply within a grade.
Mr. Grant, let me take the opportunity of just explaining, going through some of our diseases that are fungus that persons might encounter when in their cucumber production. Now we have gummy stem, alternaria, our leaf spot, powder mildew, fruit rot. These are some of the funguses that persons would encounter, and some of the chemicals for treatment would be Amistar, Bravo, Score, Rivus, Rhodamil, and Amistar. I mentioned Amistar before. Our water molds would be damping off, our downy mildew, our blights, some of these water molds. Right. Our bacterial disease would be angular leaf spot. Right. And our virus would be our green multivirus, mosaic virus, and melon mosaic virus. And for the treatment for some of our bacterial diseases would be our coocide. Yes. Persons can look at the slide for different dosage rates and apply accordingly.
Right. Good. Excellent. Now, with having good disease management, good pest management, weed control, now we want to know how to actually fertilize our crops. It is having an irrigation system now is really the way forward as the agricultural industry grow and expand, and persons are adapting locally to new technology, and that's move away from the traditional
farming
methods, which is actually smart farming. So what I want to highlight is actually our solo feed cucumber nutrition program, and the solo feed line of fertilizers are a highly soluble line of fertilizers that can ideally be utilized in your drip irrigation system, and it comes 4 different blend that is applied at the different physiological stages of crop growth. So for example, at week 1 you would have used our 20-30-10 magnesium sulfate blend of fertilizer. Week 1 you use about 32 pounds of this fertilizer. for the first week. You can apply it at one application, but what is recommended is that to split the application over the week. So you split that 32 pounds of fertilizer into 3. So you're using an average of about 10.5 pounds at each application for the week. And the same principle to all the other blends. You split the application as you go along. Keep in mind though that you do that as it relates to the application rate, that no less than 12 grams per gallon of water, no less than 12 grams of the fertilizer per grams, 12 grams per gallon of water. So per acre we're looking at 96 pounds of the 20-30-10 magnesium sulfate blend for the first week of production. For week 2 to 3, we would use about 64 pounds of the 22-11-22 magnesium sulfate within our fertigation system. For this, no less than 3 grams per gallon of water, and this is equivalent to 127 pounds of this fertilizer. At 4 to 5 weeks, you also would have used about 64 pounds of your 12-20-30 magnesium blend in your fertigation system. Of course, as well, no less than 3 grams per gallon of water, and this is equivalent to 191 pounds during this week. We also recommend the use of calcium nitrate at about 15 pounds every week. I must highlight this caution: do not mix a calcium nitrate with any fertilizer because it will cause a reaction with residues will be formed within the irrigation system and can block up or damage your piping system. So you apply your calcium nitrate weekly by itself, and you just need to apply it once per week, every week over the life of the crop. As I relates to the amount of calcium nitrate that we utilize, you are basically going to apply no less than 145 grams per gallon per se for every week. And of course, you do have Algas and our cucurbitaceae line of fertilizer that facilitate foliar growth. Now, as it relates to our traditional blend, you would have been quite familiar with. Could you really take the opportunity to highlight so
some of the traditional blends that we use is our 1428 and our 15535, along with our multi-feed fertilizer, and this can be applied throughout the period of your production.
Great, because you know traditionally persons use the standard grade fertilizer. However, coming close to the end of our presentation, we need to highlight a bit of tips as it relates to growing cucumbers. So give us a few tips.
So some of these growing tips for cucumber production are plant cucumber varieties with good disease resistance and environmental adaptability to the local condition.
Great.
Cucumber is best grown in loamy soil type, will drain with a good organic content and have a pH range of 6.8 to 7.2. Intermediate to warm climates between 85 to 95 Fahrenheit. Treat seedlings with Rhodamil and Actar for a good start. Provide good protection against fungal attack and soil-borne insect pests. Water plants with Algas plant tonic to stimulate rapid growth and root system development.
Great.
And these are some important tips that persons can employ in their production of cucumbers.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon, for those informative tips. And I do trust with the information being dispensed and the critical areas highlighted, that most definitely our viewers will be more adept at cultivating cucumbers. However, ideally important cucumbers from our portfolio that are of exceptional quality is our Bristol, our
Thunder.
Eureka, of course our
Thunder.
Thunder and
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. Great. Thank you.
So today we brought to you the features, the benefits, how to grow and care for the EX4098 hybrid carrot seeds and the hybrid Bristol cucumber seeds. We now invite you to come out to any H&L Agro location or any of our dealers island-wide and purchase your EX4098 hybrid carrot seed and your hybrid Bristol cucumber seed. And from there, all we have to wish to you is happy farming. And remember, at H&L Agro, we are here to serve you as you continue to grow and contribute to Jamaica's food sustainability. Happy farming.